Hey guys, so today I'm going to be reading a book called The Curious Kangaroo by Zoe's Rescue Zoo. Okay, I got this book from my school because I saw this. Chapter 1, The Noisy Whistle. As Zoe Parker settled down on the grass to do her math homework, she felt like the luckiest girl in the whole world. Not many children would be able to do their homework sitting next to a lion enclosure. There's a picture, there's a lion. But then Zoe lived in a very special place. It was called the Rescue Zoo, and Zoe had lived there since she was a baby. Zoe's great-uncle Horace was a famous animal expert and explorer, and he'd built the Rescue Zoo as a safe place for animals who were injured or had lost their homes. Zoe's mum, Lucy, was the zoo vet, and Zoe lived with her in a cosy cottage inside the grounds. Normally, Zoe didn't do her homework in the cottage. But the sun was shining and she decided to work outside today. A young lion called Rory paddled over to the fence of the enclosure and growled to Zoe softly. "I'm doing some sums," Zoe replied with a grin. As you can see that as well as living in the zoo, Zoe had a really special secret. She was able to understand what animals were saying and could talk to them too. This meant Zoe had a lot of special animal friends. But nobody knew that she could talk to animals, not even her mum. So her mum didn't even know. Rory tossed his head back and gave another roar. Zoe smiled as she remembered how little and scary Rory had been when Uncle Horace had first brought him to the zoo. He was so much bigger and happier now. Just when Zoe had heard an excited chirp, she turned to see Meep scandering across the grass towards her. Meep was a tiny grey mouse lemur with big golden eyes and velvety fur. He's also been rescued by Uncle Horace and brought to the zoo when he was just a baby, just a tiny baby. He was Zoe's best friend and she lived with her and Lucy in the cottage. He even slept in Zoe's bed at night. "Can I help you with your homework?" Meep chirped. Then Zoe grinned as she scooped the little lemur into her arms and gave him a big cuddle. "Of course you can." That's a picture of Zoe and the lemur, the grey mouse lemur. She looked back at her maths homework. "What's 12 minus 10? "Goo!" Meep chirped. "That's right, it is 2. Zoe looked at the little lemur in surprise. She had no idea he was so good at maths. "No, not 2. Goo!" Meep pointed at the sky. Zoe sheltered her eyes with her hand as she gazed into the bright sunny sky. There, coming over the treetops was a bright red hot air balloon. "You're right, it must be Great Uncle Horace," she exclaimed, leaping up from the grass and jumping up and down in excitement. Great Uncle Horace often arrived back at the Rescue Zoo in a hot air balloon. It was one of his favourite ways to travel. "Oh, good," said the voice behind her. Zoe turned to see the zoo manager, Mr. Pinch, standing on the footpath, looking up at the balloon as he usually was dressed in a super smart uniform. But usually he was smiling excitedly. Miss Pinch never normally looked excited. When Great Uncle Horace arrived at the zoo, he often brought back a new animal to come and live there. Mr. Pinch always grumped that it meant more work for him. Zoe watched as Mr. Pinch reached into his pocket and pulled out a silver whistle. So that has a picture of it on it as well. Has a little lemur, the grey lemur, Lucy and the hot air balloon that she talked about her Great Uncle Horace coming in. 2 more pages and then we'll be done. "Hot air balloon landing," Mr. Pinch shouted. Then he blew 3 loud toots on his whistle, causing some visitors to jump. Stand clear, he shouted before blowing the whistle again. Rory roared loudly and raced away from the noise. Meat put his paws over his ears. Zoe frowned. What did you think of my new whistle? Mr. Pinch said proudly. It's very loud, Zoe replied, her ears still ringing from the noise. She picked Meat up and put him on her shoulder. Come on, let's go and say hi to Great Uncle Horace. Zoe ran to an open space at the back of the zoo, followed by Mr. Pinch, who kept blowing his whistle and yelling, What's that noise? And yelling, What's that noise? Mo the hippo keeper called out to Zoe as they quickly hurried by. Mr. Pinch has a new whistle, Zoe explained. Inside the enclosure, Albert and Rona, the two oldest hippos, sank down deeper into the mud. Zoe wished she could just do the same to escape the noise. Hot air balloon landing, yelled Mr. Pinch as they hurried past the monkey enclosure, and he gave another long toot of his whistle. Toot! The air balloon suddenly filled with the sound of the monkeys shrieking and chattering as they trampled up the trees in fright. What's that horrible noise? A spider monkey named Mickey called from the branches of the willow tree. It's Mr. Pinch's whistle, Zoe replied. Mickey shook his head and placed his paws over his ears. I don't like whistles, he chanted grumpily. Then finally they reached the clearing as a bright balloon came into landing. Zoe noticed that there was no crate attached to the basket. Maybe Great Uncle Horace hadn't brought an animal this time. She felt a wave of disappointment crash over her. So that's a picture. Has the monkeys and Lucy and the manager with his whistle. Okay, we're going to have to end it there, and I'll see you guys next week. And hopefully we can do another one. So guys, please like and subscribe and hit that notification button so you'll never miss any of my videos. Love you. Bye.